Hello, I'm Lucas. I'm the TOEFL guy from TOEFL.magoosh.com, and every week on Tuesday I talk about the TOEFL here on YouTube, give you some advice if you're taking the test. And this week I'm talking about using flashcards. This is a really helpful topic because vocabulary helps you on every part of the TOEFL. It helps on reading, listening, speaking, and writing, right? It's especially helpful for the reading section, but we'll talk more about that as I give a little warning first. Flashcards alone are not that helpful. You need to use flashcards and mix your practice. You need to be reading in English regularly, speaking in English, listening to English. If you mix your practice a lot, then those flashcards will be helpful. But the flashcards alone do not get you a higher score, except possibly, like I said, the reading section, in which knowing the definition of a word, just the definition, not the usage, not the pronunciation, that can really help you sometimes in the reading section. But for the other sections, it's especially important to be mixing practice. So you know what the word means when you hear it, and you know what words it comes with often, what words it is next to in English often. Now, some advice for how to study with those flashcards. First of all, repeating your flashcards, repeating the words you learned. And by spaced repetition, I mean spacing that repetition according to how well you know the word. So, if a word is new for you, it's the first time you've ever seen it on your flashcard, well, come back to that same flashcard again in 2 hours. After that, come back to it again in 2 days. After that, come back to it again in 1 week. So the more you know that word, the more times you see the flashcard, the longer the spaces become. But you do need to repeat flashcards, repeat the things you learn so that you can remember them better. If you only learn a word one day and then never look at it again, you didn't learn the word. Now, not just that, you should be looking at context of words. The definition by itself, like I said, is only helpful for some reading questions. It's very important that you understand the usage of the word. And for this, what's very helpful is example sentences. Not just example sentences that you write, but example sentences from real English texts, from newspapers, from websites that are written by native speakers. One way you can get that is from our free TOEFL flashcards. Magoosh has 600 TOEFL flashcards for free on either iPhone or Android phones. Just go into the App Store or into the Play Store and download TOEFL flashcards from Magoosh. Search TOEFL flashcards and it's the first thing you'll see. Now, this app, like I said, has 600 words. I just added 400 more last week. They are advanced TOEFL-specific words. You can see the meanings, example sentences written by native speakers, many of them by me, and you can actually hear the pronunciation of the word if you need to know what it sounds like so you can repeat it yourself and use it in speech. Super helpful, totally free. And it not only gives you that context, it has the spaced repetition built into it. If you know the word, it doesn't show it to you. If you sort of know the word, it shows it to you sometimes. And if you don't know a word, it shows it to you often. So that repetition is naturally spaced in the app. I highly recommend it. Now, if you're going to make your own flashcards too, it's a great idea, and hopefully these other tips provided you a little bit of help for using those flashcards. Next week, come back and we'll talk about more TOEFL vocabulary. Again, I'm Lucas, the TOEFL guy from magoosh.com. I'll see you next week.